Hi guys, it's Katie here again from Creativa, and today I thought I would record a video and start doing another mini album using the Broderie SVG files. So I've already made an album on camera using this SVG file, these SVG files, and that's this one here that we made, and there's a whole playlist. And so this one's very frilly and flouncy. As you can see, it's got lots of lacy edges, and that's why I called the SVG files Broderie, because of these pretty lacy edges that look a lot like lace. But a part of the SVG files is that I can also make albums that don't have any of that lace on them. So that's what I thought we'd do. We'd use all the pieces in these SVG files to make another album much like that one that we've just made, but using the pieces that aren't all lacy. So you can see that you can also make a nice album that's not quite so feminine and lacy and girly. So that's what I'm going to start doing. So if you don't know, SVG files are scalable vector graphic files. So if you're interested, you can purchase them from my Etsy store, and I'll put the link down below. And you can use those SVG files with electronic cutting machines, and I particularly use Cricut. I have a Cricut Explore Air 2, and I also have a Cricut Maker, and these work fantastically on the Cricut. So I have also done an introductory video where we walk through and look at all of these different pieces that come in the SVG files, so that you can make an album from beginning to end. There's lots of pockets, there's doors, it's got everything you need. There's 30 files. It starts with the cover and the spine, the binding, all the pages. Lots of different pockets, doors, corner pockets, belly bands, some frames. Lots of files of inserts and more inserts, and some for an accordion pocket. So you can use all of those pieces to make your albums. So today we're going to start with making the cover and inserting the pages. Right, so I'll start by showing you the pieces that I've cut out, and then we'll put it together. So today I have cut out the cover and spine pieces. Excuse me. So that's these here. I've cut these out of 2mm chipboard, but you can cut them out of cereal boxes or anything that you like. So the blue piece is the actual elements themselves, and then the pink pieces are the mats. So for this I have cut out 2 of the A1 pieces, and I've given all the pieces an alphanumeric label, so that it's easy for me to tell you exactly what I've used. So I've cut out 2 of the A1 pieces, and I have cut out 3 of the A2 pieces in the 2mm chipboard. So that's going to be my cover. And then I have cut out some cover and spine mats as well. I've cut, let me find it, well done. I've cut out 2 of these A3 pieces, which are these 2 pieces here, and I've just cut those out of the cardstock that I'm using. 1 A4 piece, maybe it was 2, maybe I should have 2 of those, I'll have to check. And then I've also cut out 2 in black of the A3 in case I need those. I feel like I should have had another, oh no I don't, that's fine. I'm not thinking very well this afternoon. I have cut out 1 of the B1 pieces and 1 of the B2 pieces, which is our binding pieces, and that's these here. So I've already cut those out. And then I have cut out 12 of the base pages, C1, and at this stage I haven't cut out any of the mats for those. I tend to do that as I go along. So I believe that's all we have here at the moment. I did have another spine piece. Let's go back here. I did cut out another one of these A4s. So I have got 2 of the A4 pieces. Okay, So let's start by putting the cover together. So I'll put this to the side and I'll bring out these pieces. And today I'm going to wrap it in this bit of craft wrapping paper that you can see here. So this is the sort of wrapping paper you buy at the beginning of the school year to cover your school books. So I'm just going to use that one. I figure we tend to usually embellish it and mat it and everything, so it doesn't matter too much. I'm just going to put some bits down on either side so I can lay it out. Oh, stop moving. So I'm leaving a 1 inch. I've already sized this just so you didn't have to go through the excruciation of watching me try to deal with a real long piece of paper that kept wanting to roll up. But I'm working on a 1 inch border all the way around here. I thought I put a border there, but I haven't. And along the bottom, I can't quite see it very well, but I'll just quickly put that in again. So you know it's roughly a 1 inch border. And what I want to do is line up my pieces along this piece of paper so that they are sort of lined up. And so I'm going to have the cover, and then I'm going to have a spine, and then I'm going to have a cover, which is how I normally do it. But then I thought we'd have a bit that wraps around the top, so I'm going to go back up the side with another spine, and then another piece of the spine is going right on the end here, and that's going to come over on top. So I can lay all of that out. And I think we'll just go ahead and start gluing that down. Might make it easier to deal with this piece of paper. So I am using Helmar's Tiger Grip. And I have to say I really like this glue. It's, when that says Tiger Grip, it is quite grippy. So you do get a bit of wiggle time, but it also seems to glue really solidly. So that's good because this has got a sort of a plasticky backing. So let's hope it sticks all right here. So I'm just going to stick my glue on and line this up. The important thing is to leave a gap between each of your pieces and also to make sure that they're all lined up across the bottom. So I'm going to leave a gap here, and I know some people use spacers and measure it, and I'm pretty pedantic about some things, but I'm not so pedantic about measuring my gap here. So I'm just going to take a guess and eyeball it. Alright, so that's those two. Now it's going to hold itself down and slide it across a little bit. I'm going to do the next one here. And look, I bought this a couple of paper packs to make this album that I've had sitting around for ages, and I wanted to use it, but I didn't know exactly what on. But this album's great because this is the size that the pieces come in, so I haven't sized this up larger or smaller, which you can do, and I've made a video about how to do that, so I'll try and remember to put a link in or a card in so that you can go and have a look at that in case you want to make this kind of an album but you'd like it to be larger. So this album is this cover will make an album that is 7 inches by 7 inches with this spine here, which is a 3-inch spine. But of course, if I sized it up, I could make an 8-inch album or a 9-inch album, or I could make a really small one as well. So that's the beauty of SVG files. You can use exactly the same files to make larger or smaller albums. So I can't quite see. I think it's all lined up pretty well across the bottom. Let's squash that down. Okay, so now I'm just going to flip it over, and then I'm going to put my my mat down underneath here because I tend to get glue everywhere. So I'm just using a shelf protector that I bought from Bunnings here in Australia. So I'm just making sure that that's going to stick down nicely. Doesn't have any air bubbles. Oh, I was talking about the paper. I knew I totally got sidetracked then. Yeah, so the paper that I'm using is by Creativa. It's this one here. It's called Whisper, and it's really, really neutral. And so I've got a couple of those. Have a look there and see. It's really neutral. It's got some nice foil accent pages, but otherwise it's fairly neutral. It's got a lot of cutouts in the back, and a lot of them relate to birthdays and things, so I won't be able to use those. I've got a couple of those, and then what came with it was this little bag of, oh, another thing that I bought was this little bag of goodies. I think Creativa calls them collectibles, and they're little just die cuts, so I'm hoping that they will work well for us in making this album as well. So that's what I'm using. But I should have said this album is a 6.5 inch square paper pad. This paper pad is a 6.5 inch square paper pad. So I can mat all of my base pages just using this 6.5 inch paper, which I think is fabulous. Okay, so I've already got completely sidetracked. Sorry. It's going to make a long video if I keep getting sidetracked. Okay, so then our album's going to fold up like this, and like this, and like this, once we've covered it. So that'll be good. Okay, so I need my scissors, and this side is a bit longer than an inch, so I'm just going to put a line there. My ruler's an inch wide, so I just butt it up against there and draw a line. So I can just trim that down. That can go out in the rubbish. Then I'm just going to miter the corners and stick it all together like every other cover video you've probably ever watched. I just wanted you to, and I could have done this beforehand, but I just wanted to show you how to make the cover using those 2 extra pieces of spine. So that's why I'm doing that. So now I'm just going to fold up the paper all the way around. And then we can glue it down. Okay, so I'll just start doing that. Lost my bone folder already. There it is. And make sure that's really nice, it's stuck down. And then I like to run it along the edge here to give it a nice square edge. And I'll do the same with the other short sides. I'll flip it around. Put some glue on here. Glue that down. And flip over again. And run my bone folder along the edge. Okay, so I didn't miter those edges all that well, so I'm just going to come in and do that again by just slicing it off. And slicing that little bit off there, trying to, and I'll do the same on this edge. And I just need to glue this long section here down. I like to run a bit of glue right along the edge there, just to make sure that it sticks nicely to that part of that top part along, you know, that little lip there. And I'm just kind of pushing it, pulling it in as I pull it over and then sort of slide it towards me to make sure that it's buttered up against here really nicely. And I'll run my bone folder along here, make sure it's all stuck down. And then again, I'll run my bone folder along here. This has got to be one of the most boring parts, but you know, by the end of making the cubby, you've got a book, so it does feel like you're getting somewhere. There's that. Okay, so I'm just going to trim those corners again. There's noise outside and it sounds like my dog, but I'm not sure. I'll get rid of those little pieces. Whoops. And put some glue across here. And do the same again. Just pull it over and push it down nice and firmly. Yeah, that's definitely my dogs banging on the back door. And I bribed them as well. Before I put them outside, I gave them a bone each, hoping that they would keep them amused for a while. Seems that didn't last very long. And we'll just run it along here again. Make sure that's stuck down there. So I didn't do a very good job of glue under here. If I can get it in there. Open up. Let's push that down. Okay. So I'm just going to run my bone folder along here very lightly so I don't rip it, but we're going to cover it again, so that's okay. And I'll just fold it over and then this bit will come up and it will sit like so when we're done. So what we need to think about is where we're going to put the catch. So for the catch for this album, I'm going to use these magnet catches that I originally bought. They're like handbag or purse catches. Oh, they're strong. I like them for that. I originally bought them for making handbags, and if you can see those, and so I had them, so I'm going to use them. But if you don't have these, then you could use the normal magnets like these ones, and these ones are basic grey, or whatever it is that you come across that you think would look nice. So now I can't get them apart. Come on. Yeah, they're definitely strong. There we go. So I think this one goes on this page and then this one will go on this side here. So, a bit tricky because I don't want the prongs on this one to poke out here. So, I think what we'll do is, first of all, we'll need to measure where it's going to go. I feel like maybe I should have thought this one through a bit more. So if it's sitting up like that, I'm just going to draw a line along here so I can see where our flap comes up to. And then I'm going to find the centre of this, which will be about 9 centimetres, so about here. So on this side, I'm thinking that I would want my catch to be roughly in the centre and a little bit back from the actual edge itself, so maybe about there. So I'm going to poke this down so that it leaves 2 little indentations where those prongs are, and then I'll just put a pencil mark there so I can see that. And then I can put this one in, I don't know, we're just going to fumble through this. I want to put some little, I need to speak, use your words, Katie. I'm going to use my craft knife to make those little holes in here. Carefully without stabbing myself, because I'm very good at doing things like that. Oh, 1 and 2. I was trying to be delicate and it went straight through. And now this one won't. I'll look on this side. We can see where this one's gone through, and then I can sort of see where this one is. Oh, that was enormous. Now, what I'm thinking, what I've just thought about, is that maybe I need to actually mat this page before I put that catch there. That feels like something I might need to do. So maybe I'll put one of these black mats on here, and that's the cover spine piece, which is the cover spine, the cover mat back here. That's the A3. So I've just cut that out of black. So I'm going to have to measure that spot again. Oh, this isn't going very well at all. It's like a comedy of errors. And then I was thinking for the cover, I might just like to use this one here, straight on top like that. I think that'll be nice. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to have to find my spot again. Let's see. I will be able to see it from the other side, so we'll just work on it like that. Okay, so I'm just going to ink around this really quickly. I have done this before, but you might not be able to tell. You know when you do it yourself and you've got time to think it through, and you know, you can do that whole thought process without having to explain it. Alright, so I'm going to attach this one to the black and then attach the black to the cover. Like, move that out the way. Alright, so I'm going to attach this one onto there. So this is a 6-inch piece of paper, so I thought, oh, it'll work pretty well. Look at that, and it does. A nice little, I'll just get out my trusty rag to wipe off my spilt bits. Okay. Ooh, I don't know what I just dropped then. Okay, so now I'm going to attach this to here. That's my plan. I can't really see my fold mark there very well, so I'm just going to put my ruler there as a guide. That kind of will help me. Okay, now we'll attach this one. So in the last album I made, I went crazy with flowers and all sorts of things. This time I'm going to try and, whoops, I nearly stuck that on the wrong way around. Did anyone see that? Oh no. This is like a real Friday afternoon video, I have to say. What was I saying before I nearly messed up? Oh, I can't remember. Put a bit of glue on here. Just get my trusty rag to push that down, wiping excess glue out from under there. Well, that looks nice. Oh, this is really the fanciest piece of paper in that whole collection. It's quite a plain collection, so it sort of made up its mind for me that it was going to be the cover. So now we can poke those holes back through here again because we can see them on this side, thankfully. So I'm just going to carefully poke through it. You know, whoops, what I'm trying to avoid doing is putting a hole in the thing underneath. So I'll just put this cover here, and then I can poke for all my life. Let's have a look. I can just see them, so I'll poke through there and there. I might suggest that you just pop a couple of magnets on, because honestly I think it would be easier than doing it like this. So I'm going to just gently, but I'm actually going to use great force, try and squash this through. Oops, this really is a comedy of errors. I've pushed it, but all it's done is flipped those little prongs over. I'll just straighten that up again. Okay, I might need to make those holes a little bit bigger, which I really am scared to make them too big. Right, try again. Oh, this is really being difficult today. There we go. There, through. Right, there we are. Okay, and I'm just going to flatten those out on either side, like that. So then we're going to cover that up, and it'll be fine. So that looks nice. It doesn't look like it caused me all sorts of drama. So then to work out the other side, I'll put that one on top. And what I'm thinking is if I just put a dab of glue on each prong, and then if I line these up, I should roughly have a couple of glue marks. I've got one here and one here. That should roughly be about where they need to be. See that? Let's have a look. Let's just go with that. I think that they might need to be a little bit further in, but okay, so that's where we want it to be. Now, I haven't put a cover on here, have I? And if I put a cover on here, I'm going to have these pieces, so I really need some strips down here and here. So what should we do? What I might do is just pop it in temporarily, knowing that I can take it out again until I work out what I want to do for my inside piece. So I'm just, because I can put it back in again later, but I do want to put it in now, because otherwise I'll lose that little bit, and then that'll be the end of it. You know how it is. So I'm just turning that around so that hopefully you can see it. Okay. So I'm just going to pop that in there, you know, with all of the ease that I did last time. Oh, that was much easier. Okay, so now it will close up like that, right? That's what I had in mind. But I don't want to, so I can cover this up with a mat and that'll be fine. But this one, this side, because I haven't put those prongs down, I need to cover this inside part as well, and I haven't done that yet. So I tell you what, I'll just go and get a piece of paper and we'll do it now. I wasn't organised at all. I thought I was, but I wasn't. So just bear with me 1 minute and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back. I had a little think about this, And I have already cut out the mats for the spine, which I want to put in here. And I also have one for this side here. But what's going to happen is I'm going to have these bits showing, which I didn't want, and I hadn't thought that bit through. So what I'm going to do is cut 2 pieces the same height as this mat here out of my cover paper, and I've got some of that here. And then I'm just going to cover up those little pieces. So I'm just going to do that right now. So I want it to be the same height as this, right? So let's just line this up on here. It doesn't have to be the same width, but it may as well be. I just want it to be the same height, so when I put my mat down, it doesn't look odd. Right, so let's just put a little line across there, and I'll just put one down here. And actually, I probably just need one, so I'm just going to cut that off. Get rid of that bit. And then I'm going to just cut across that line. Okay, now if I just used half of that and then put that mat on there, that should be fine. So I'm just going to fold this little baby in half. Let's see. Yeah, that should be okay. And then I'll just cut down the middle. So I could have actually just cut another piece of that mat, but this will do. So I'm just going to stick this down here. And this is probably the how not to do it video. Oh well. Nobody, you know, I did design these, but I can't say that I'm always an expert at construction. The SVG files themselves are pretty good, but if I do say so myself. But sometimes my construction's a bit iffy. So that's covered up that one, and then we're going to do the same with this one. So I'll just pop that one down on here. I'm just trying to get the height about right. I mean, it's probably not the end of the wall, but it's not. But so then if I line that up there, it should be good. All right. Okay. Now we might be getting somewhere, hopefully. Right, so I'm just going to very gently push that bit of paper that I've just stuck down into that little fold line. Make sure it folds nicely. Make sure that it sticks, because sometimes it can buckle up where it's folding. It's buckling a little bit. Might need some more glue. And let's do the same along here. Make sure that one's folding well. That one's buckling a bit there too. Might have been better to use score tape, Katie. Oh well, we'll just live on the edge, hey? Okay, so now I can put this piece down on here, and we can have that nice other piece of the magnet with the prongs in there. So anyway, my reflection on this is, whilst these are really nice, and I'm glad to be able to use them, yeah, they do require a little more thought than throwing down a couple of magnets and putting a mat over the top. Oh well, you live and learn. Okay, I want to push that one about right. Okay. Get my trusty rag out again. Because that good, when when you burnish it down like this, you will get stuff come through. But I like to make sure that they stick down well. Right, okay, so, and then we can put this one down on here as well. Let's just do that. Now let's hope the rest of this video it goes a bit better, shall we? I'm going to line that one up with this one. Okay, that looks a bit neater now, doesn't it? Yes, very good. Okay, so now let's go back to our little prongy piece. If I flip this over, we can see where I've already butchered it with my craft tool, with my craft knife. And I'll just bring back my mat again so I don't stab through everything. And I just need to go, go through that mat that we've just put down. So I'll just bring that over. You can see those two little prods there, and I can poke through. And now we can put this one through here. I just had a little mini heart attack then, thinking, what am I doing? That's what I'm doing. Because we're going to put a mat on top of this and that'll be fine. She says, trying to reassure herself that she's doing the right thing. Okay, right. So, there, that's it. That's what we want. So then this side here looks nice and we've matted that, and this side here looks nice and we've matted that. And I can mat the rest of this at another stage and the rest of that side as well. So I had already cut this black one out, and that's going to go on the back here. And I'll probably use that. I don't know if I'll use that same paper. I might use something different. So I might just leave that for the time being. Let's get on to the pages, because you know this comedy of errors can't go on forever. So I didn't need a mat for. I didn't need a mat like these ones here, the spine mat for this one, because this one we're going to use the binding and put that in there, and it'll cover up that spine section. So I just thought I'd explain that. But right now we need to do our pages and insert them into the binding. So I've already cut out 12 of the pages, the base pages, and I've already made 4 of the pages here, and this is what we're going to do. We use 2 of the base pages and join them together and make them into sleeves like so. So I've already done 4 of them, and I thought we'd just do a couple together. So I have, what I need to do is for each page we need 1 complete base page piece like that. And just to remind you, we're doing, this is the C1 piece here. So it looks like this one, C1, and I've cut out 12 of those. So to make a page we need 2 of those, this one here and this one here. So this one also has a fold on it, so you can see here there's a score line here, and I folded it and I've already inked it. But for this second one that we're going to attach to this one, we're going to cut off one of these little tags, this little side tag here, so you can see there's a score line here, and then there's a second score line. I'm going to cut that little tab off, so that, well actually I've done it already on one, so it looks like this. So I have cut that little side tab, let's have a look on this side. Cut this little side tab off, there's the score line, so that we don't have that little tab section anymore. So let's go ahead and do that on this one here that I haven't done. So I'm just going to line up those 2 lines, the 2 edges, that score line, and cut that little tab off. And that's as much cutting as I need to really do in this album, because my Cricut's going to do it all for me. So it does all the measuring and the cutting and the scoring. I'm just going to ink around that one, and then to make a page I need one of these that is a complete piece, and then one of these where we've already cut the tab off. So that section here should line up with this section here. I'm going to turn this one over, And I'm just going to turn it to the side because that's just how I work. I'm going to make sure that this square piece is lined up or is on the same bottom edge here as this double tab piece here. And what I'm going to do is put some glue on this tab and attach it onto here. So let's do that. I'll just run some glue along that tab, fold it under, and then I'm just lining it up with the corner of this base page. Like so. Getting glue all over my fingers because that's what I do. And just make sure that I'm happy with the way that's lined up on each side. I'm going to go ahead and give it a burnish. It does make the glue come out, but it also makes sure it's stuck really well. Okay, so at this stage now we have our little sort of fold out section like this with these tabs at the bottom. So we're just going to join this tab up on the inside now. So I'll just put some glue along there. And I'm going to do the same again. I'm just going to fold that tab in, line those two corners, two edges up. When I'm happy with the way they've lined up, try not to get glue all over me. And I'm just going to make sure it's really nicely stuck down, wipe up my gluey mess. Like so. And then the only other thing we need to do is take this tab here that's missing this other bit, and we're going to glue this bit down to this section here. So it's already nicely lined up, so I'm just going to run that glue along there and push that down. And that's the page ready to be inserted. The only other thing we need to do is put a little bit of double-sided tape along here. So let me just grab some double-sided tape. This roll's just about finished. And I'm just going to run my bit of double-sided tape along here. And whoops, and then that'll be ready to put in the binding. Okay, so that's that one done. I'll just get that nice burnish down to make sure that it actually sticks. Okay, so that's 5 pages, and then we have one more to do. Is that right? Yes, because those. Right, so here we go again. We're just going to make sure that we line up the bottom sections the correct way, and then we're going to put some glue on this tab and fold it under and attach it. Make sure it's lined up. Push it down. And make sure that I'm still happy with the way that's lined up. Quick burnish, wipe up my gluey mess, and do the same on this side. Put some glue on this tab, line up those edges, make sure I'm happy that they're lined up appropriately. Happy with that. Then I'm going to stick this little tab down to this other one here, and that's another page done. And then we'll just stick a quick bit of double-sided tape onto this little tab. Oh, that's not enough. We'll have to go with another roll of tape. Okay. Can't get hold of it. Just run across there and trim that off. Okay, so now we have all 6 of our pages ready to put into our album. So before we do that, we need to put them on the binding, which I have put somewhere. There we go. Right, so how we're going to put these in is I'm going to use a little bit of glue stick to help me and my picky tool, which I seem to have lost. See, I'm really super organised. There it is. This is my Cricut picky tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this backing off this double-sided tape, like so, and then I'm going to run this bit of this glue stick down here. It's just going to give me a little time to make sure that I can get this page lined up, and then I'm just going to pick this up with my tool like so and slide that little tab underneath. Just slide underneath there. There we go. I'll try and get it lined up. And then when I'm happy with where it's sitting, I'll just press that down, and then I'm just going to make sure that it bends over okay. Like so. And that's one page inserted. So I'm just going to do that all the way along for each one. And then when we get to the last one, instead of well, I'll tell you what, I'll quickly do this. I'll speed it up so you don't have to watch me. And we'll do the last page together because I just want to show you how to do the last page a little bit differently. So, I'll tell you what, I'll put these in, and then when I'm done I'll come back and we'll do the last one together. Okay? Alright, I'll see you in a minute. Okay guys, so I'm back and I have put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my 6 pages, and as I showed you, all I did was take the tape off and then put a little bit of glue stick on top of my tape and slide it under this little cut line here, lined it up and then pressed it down. So that's exactly the way I've done it for those 5. For this last one, what I would normally do is do that, take the tape off, glue it, and then slide it into this last one just like that, which is the same way that I've done all of the other ones. But this time I want to turn it around and I'm going to slide it in this way. So the reason I'm going to do that is because I don't want this tab here to hang out over here, because when we go to put it in our book, it might get too close to the fold in this fold here. So if we bend it back this way, then we won't have that problem. So that's what we're going to do. So I just wanted to show you that. So I'm just going to take the tape off, put a little bit of glue stick on here to give me a bit of wiggle time, and then I'm going to slide it in this way and line it up. And I'm just going to bring this page back over and make sure that it's sort of, no, I can't do that at the moment because I haven't burnished those very well. I'm feeling like that'll be alright. And press it down. Okay, so then I'm just going to go through each of my pages and make sure that they fold over like that. And that looks good. I'm pretty happy with that. So then I'll just bring this one over and bend it down, make sure that that sits nice and flat. And so with each one of these, I'm going to make sure that they bend both ways nicely. This one. And this last one. Okay, so when I've done that, I'm just going to flip it over. I'm going to take this other piece of my binding section, so let's just have a quick look at that one again to remind you. That's this piece here, B2. And what I've done is I've put some double-sided contact on this side of my binding piece. So last time I did it, I just used tape, but I was having a hunt through my cupboards for something the other day and I found this double-sided contact. So I thought, well, you know, I'll use it. It's pretty old, so hopefully it's got some good stick. And I've got to try and get the backing off it, which might prove difficult. Come on. There we go. I'm just going to pull that off. So as I say, if you don't have double-sided contact, don't stress, just line it with the double-sided tape. The reason that I'm using that is because we're going to stick this on the other side to hold those pages down even more. So this is the opposite side, and that I want to actually I might put one to even it up in the middle, like so. There we go. It's a bit flatter. So I'm going to put this down and make sure that it's pretty well centered between this first cut mark here and this last cut mark there. And so the reason that I'm using the double-sided contact and glue is because and the glue stick rather than wet glue is because I don't want the wet glue to seep out and get into my pages. So I'm just going to sort of line it up where I think it's about right, and then line up the top. I mean, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't line up, we can trim it. And I'm going to press it down really firmly and burnish it really firmly. Make sure she's nice and stuck down. And that'll really help to hold our pages in place too. So now I can push along here and make sure that that is really firmly stuck down. So down here, there's probably a little bit of it there. And go back the other way. Make sure it's really nicely stuck down here. That's that one. I'll just slide it along here. Okay, now if I have not lined it up very well, you can see a little skerrick of it just there, and of course just there. I'm just going to trim that off so it can't be seen. And then we're going to put this in our album. So this is going to go on this part here. Now to figure out where it's going to go, let me move this stuff out of the way. What I do is I hold the whole thing over my spine like so, and I'm trying to evenly distribute the last page here with that spine, that fold in our spine, and the first page with that fold in that spine, and then also the gap on the top and the bottom here and here. When I'm happy with that, I will just take my pencil and draw a little mark around each corner, so that when it comes to placing it down, again I can, you know, rest assured that I've got that in the right spot. So that's where it's going to go. So I need to put some glue on the back of this here. Right, so I think we'll just use the old Tiger Grip, because this stuff, I'm really loving this glue. So let's make sure that we you know, put plenty of glue on, because this is what is holding, this is all that's holding our pages into our cover. So I'm just covering that whole thing in glue. I do tend to go a little crazy with the glue, but I think it's better to have too much than not enough. Okay, bringing my cover back, trying to get the glue off my hands, and then just lining up those with those little marks that we've already made, like so. When we're happy with that, just going to push it down and make sure that it's sitting exactly where we want it. And then again, it's just a matter of going around and burnishing it down, making sure it's really nicely and firmly stuck. So I'm going to get out my bone folder and I'm going to press those top sections really firmly, and the bottom area, make sure the glue's really doing its job. And then again down each section here, making sure that it's sticking nicely to the cover. And then also making sure that these wings are stuck down firmly as well. I know the glue's going to come out of there. when I've done that, I'm just going to lightly run my bone folder down that fold area, make sure that it's going to fold up nicely, and it does. Happy days. Something went right. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. Make sure that that's really nicely firmly down, and that sleeve, that wing, and then just going to gently run my bone fold up and down that score line, that fold, not the score line, the fold line, just folds up, and I'm happy with that. So that's that. So we've put our pages in, we've made our cover. It's been a comedy of errors. It was because of these magnets here. That's what caused all the dilemma for me. Because I was just going to be matte it, and I hadn't thought it through. Actually, we can put the mattes on here as well while we're at it. So I have got those here that I've already cut out. So they are the A3 mattes, and let's go ahead and pop those on, and then we can at least say that that bit's done today. Okay, I'm going to line it up with that little section where it starts, that tab starts to slide down. Push that down like that. There we go, that's that one. And I'm going to do the same here, this one. And while I was away putting in those last few pages, I put the rest of the mats on the front cover as well. So I'll show you that in a second. I just wanted to make myself feel better that it was going to look alright after the mess that I made of the whole thing. Okay, there we go. Right, so we have got all our mats in. We have got our 6 pages and binding done. We've got our magnetic cover, and I'll show you that I put the spine mat on here. So the black that I cut is the A4, and that was for here. So all of the black pieces here were those A4s. I've just put this one on the back, which was I cut the black out of the A3, and then as I showed you before, that's just a 6.5 sheet of paper. And then the same again with this spine. I've cut out the A4 out of black, and then I've just sliced off a bit of the design paper to fit. So there we go. I'm really sorry about how that started, and I hope that you persevered to the end. And I hope you join me again while we do some pages in this album, which is the same kind of an album as this one, but it's just going to be a little less girly and feminine. So I hope you stick around, and if you're interested in the SVG files, I'll put the link in the description box below. I hope you give me a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, comment, tell me how much a messy and disorganized crafter I am. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks very much. Bye.